Do you feel stuck in your hobby? Do you feel like you have too many glue options to choose from? Is nothing sticking to anything that you glue down? Then look no further, because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make the only scenic glue that you're ever going to need. And for 4 easy payments of $19.99, what's good, mini crafters? My name is Samuel. I paint minis and build dioramas, and in this week's video, I'm going to be showing you how I make the scenic glue that I use in all of my diorama projects and for my mini bases. Now, you've probably seen me using my scenic glue in lots of my other videos, whether it's on a little miniature base or on a big spread out diorama. And I've had lots of people asking me what I do to make mine. And the good news is it's super easy. You can make it in batches, and it's really cheap compared to the stuff that you'd find online or in a hobby store. So let's figure out how to do this. There are only a few ingredients needed for this scenic glue, with the primary component being matte Mod Podge instead of the glossy kind. Now, there are a ton of different kinds of Mod Podge, but for this glue, you're going to want to go with a matte version so that when it dries, it doesn't get glossy or mess up the look of the diorama that you're working on or the mini that you've just based. To start, you're going to mix 1 part of the matte Mod Podge to 3 parts water. Now, it's okay if you're not exact in your measurements, so long as you're close to equal parts. You'll be just fine. I used this solo cup that I cut down smaller and just counted out to help me know how much to use for each different part. I first pour the matte Mod Podge in. From there, I'm going to fill the cup up with water 3 times. The container that I'm pouring all of this into already has some scenic glue in it, and I'm just topping it off. This next step is super important, as it's going to allow the scenic glue to seep down into all the ground coverage on dioramas or mini bases or whatever you're applying it to. This next step is adding a few drops of dish soap. I usually only use 2, maybe 3 drops for a container of this size, and what this is going to do is break the surface tension of the glue. When you have a project that you need to apply scenic glue to, you don't want surface tension. Otherwise, you'll likely have the glue bead up on top of the surface and dry hard, or roll off the surface that you're working on, especially if it's not level. Now, as you can see here, this little diorama base that I'm working on has a huge change in elevation. And I have a variety of ground textures and materials that I need to keep in place. Because I've added the dish soap to my scenic glue, it breaks that tension and allows for the glue to seep down into all the things that I'm trying to hold to the surface, rather than rolling down the surface of the diorama. For more spread out scenes, where I need to cover a larger area with the scenic glue, perhaps over a field or a big grassy area, I use a spray bottle. But the surface tension issue can still creep up without dish soap being added to your mixture. With the matte Mod Podge, water, and few drops of dish soap added, I gently stir up everything to get it well combined. And now you have some scenic glue made and ready. Obviously, I'm not going to be using this whole container of glue in one go, unless I was working on a gigantic project of some kind, but I typically make more than I would need for just a single project. Something that I do with applying the glue that helps me is putting some in a few dropper bottles and small spray bottles. That way I'm not worrying about breaking out my huge tub of glue for each project, and this way I have the glue that I need, whether it be sprayed or dropped in little bottles. For larger areas and bigger surfaces, I'm going to be using the spray bottle, as it tends to more evenly coat larger areas with the glue. I tend to do this to seal in grass flocking and dirt cover, among other things. But sometimes I'm looking for a bit more pinpoint accuracy when I'm applying my glue. And in those cases when I don't want to get glue all over everything, I'll opt for a little dropper bottle instead of my spray bottle. This lets me get nice and close to whatever I need to glue down. On my most recent diorama of an apocalyptic canal, I had some clump foliage that I was using as bushes. It's hard to hold together and to glue it down, but my scenic glue was perfect for the job. I first applied some isopropyl alcohol, and then with my dropper bottle, I applied my scenic glue, which immediately sunk into the clump foliage. If you want to see the full apocalyptic diorama, I'll have that video linked in the upper right hand corner and down in the description. Now, I mentioned isopropyl alcohol, which also breaks surface tension, and I'll often prime an area with this to help the glue seep into my surfaces and textures even more. I will either spray it or use the dropper bottle, same as I do for the glue, and this helps to break the surface tension and really allows for the glue to penetrate nicely. I just use the stuff that I can get at my general drugstore, and it works totally fine for me. Now you may be asking, Samuel, what can I use this glue for? Are there specific things that I have to use it on? Are there things that I cannot use it on? And I'd say no, but here's a few things that I use it for most often. So you just spread your terrain paste and have all your wonderful ground textures and dirt on top. How do you seal it all down? Scenic glue. Man, your clump foliage just isn't holding together or staying put? Scenic glue. Oh, you have grout that you need to set in a brick wall that you made? Scenic glue. You've got a huge mini that you need to glue to a base? Actually, you don't want to use scenic glue for this. A normal PVA glue would do just fine. Or a super glue, or a wood glue, or a clear glue, maybe a hot glue. Any glue but scenic glue. And there you have it. Now, I know this is a quicker video, but I thought it would be helpful and I wanted to share with all of you to show a cheaper, easier way to make your scenic glue for your own projects. As many of you know, a lot of our hobby products come with the hobby price tag as well. So hopefully this video helped show you how to do something for less that you'll use more. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And also be sure to click the little bell button below so you know when one of my new videos drops. I've set a personal goal of trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by May 18th. Now we're over halfway there, and I'd love if you would join the Minicraft fam. If you like this shorter, helpful type of video, let me know down in the comments below. I'm planning to make some more just like this in the future, so keep an eye out for those. Until next time, keep on crafting.